Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you all. Welcome back to the Abroad in Japan live chat thing. I am sorry about the one earlier this month. It was a bit of a disaster. Usually, the stream quality here is quite good, but we did the one with Natsuki down in Tokyo in an office, and for some reason, the office's internet was shit. Anyway, hopefully today will be a lot better. I hope you guys are doing well, no matter where you might be out there in the big wide world, and you're having a good Saturday. Go ahead and let me know where you're watching from in the comment section, guys. It's always good to know. I've got my coffee. Look at that, 10 p.m. coffee. Seems a bit late for a coffee, but yeah, it's worth it. Jason in the comment section says he's sitting on the couch in front of his new 4K TV. Let's do this. Unfortunately, the video quality is the video quality of the iPhone laptop thing is only in 1080p, so you're not going to get the 4K resolution, but hopefully it'll be all right, Jason. So we've got Belgium, New York, Australia, Manila. It's the first. I don't think we've had anyone from Manila before. Lots of people from Australia, Kyoto, Kentucky, Vienna, Yokohama, San Francisco. Very good, guys. Austria. Lovely, lovely stuff. Where to begin, though? Where to begin on this month? This month has been one hell of a month. I hope you've enjoyed. I keep putting the coffee down. I don't know why. I'm just going to hold it from now on. If I start to put the coffee down, please shout at me and please let me know. It's one of those things you do subconsciously. I'm going to keep the coffee. So, yeah, this month's been a hell of a month. We've had more videos than ever before on the channel, 4 podcasts as well as 2 videos on other channels on Tokyo Creative. I don't know if you've seen it. There was a video with me eating Happy Meals. I don't know why they thought that would be a good idea. Typical, isn't it? They dragged me down to Tokyo to make a nice video, and it's me just eating a Happy Meal. And then the other one was Natsuki trying to make those weird little toy sweet things. I don't know if you've seen it, but that was quite a weird video. So yeah, it's been a good month. It's been a long month. Jonathan says, "Hold the coffee, keep that brand presence strong." Yes, there you go. I haven't plugged the merchandise in months, since I think November. I haven't really been like, yeah, buy the merchandise. Not like Logan Paul, who puts merchandise in all of his videos, and now he's got like a best-selling T-shirt brand or something. It's annoying, isn't it? I'm stupid. I'm the sort of person who never plugs their social media in YouTube. Like, I don't start my videos with, "Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. By the way, I've got Twitter, I've got Facebook, I've got Instagram. You should follow them all, and you should buy the merchandise." Whoa. Those kind of channels annoy me, and yet, unfortunately, it works. Like, all these people are doing so much better than me because they do that. They do those annoying kind of plugs for their social media and their merchandise. I should be more ruthless, shouldn't I? Yeah. Chris, are you helping with editing those Tokyo Creative videos? Says Bogdan. No, I'm not. No, Tokyo Creative's kind of Tokyo Creative is a network for YouTubers in Japan, like foreign vloggers. So they kind of grouped us all together and they help us out with things. They're not like a YouTube network. Like, they don't take a cut of my revenue or anything like that, thank God. But it's just some people in Tokyo that are kind of nice and help me out do stuff. So yeah. So I've got the Patreon vlog. This week's Patreon vlog is actually coming out just after this live show. I've held back, and it's coming out after this. So after you've watched this, you can go and watch that. And we've got a really cool celebrity shout out at the start of the new Patreon vlog. It's a celebrity shout out that is cooler than I could possibly have comprehended. I'm not going to say who it is, actually. I'm not going to spoil it. You'll see it when you go on the vlog. And to be honest, next week, I'm going to use that celebrity shout out in pretty much every kind of promo video and thing that I do, just because it's so cool. But yeah, keep an eye out for the Patreon vlog. I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos today. What was your favourite video that's come out this month? Of the 5 videos we've put out, are there any that's good, any that's shit? Let me know. I'm a bit burnt out. And Daniel says, "Is it finally Ken Watanabe? Is it him?" No, it's not Ken Watanabe. But actually, and this is going to sound bad because I love Ken Watanabe, and I've talked about him for years, haven't I? The idea of getting Ken Watanabe on board. It's actually better than Ken Watanabe. And I didn't think that would be possible. But yeah, I think he's cooler and better than Ken Watanabe, and arguably bigger as well. Actually, quite a bit bigger, I think, in terms of fame. So, but we're working on Ken Watanabe. we might actually get Ken Watanabe next month, once and for all. So yeah, it's weird, isn't it, the way things work out? But yeah, this month has been a hell of a month. I said, because February was a bit of a disaster, not only did we have no videos, but then the Patreon live stream with Natsuki bombed in the first week. So I was starting to get a bit depressed, but hopefully I've made up for it. Have I made up for it? I don't know. I've put out just more videos than ever before. It's been a bit of a burnout, to be honest. I've been up until like 4 a.m. in the morning sometimes, like, editing these damn videos, because they're all travel videos. They're very, very hard to edit. It takes a lot of time. And yeah, it's been tough. But last week I was going to go to Taiwan for like a 3-4 day holiday, because I feel like to work really hard, to be at my best, I need something to motivate me, right? Like most of us do. And the idea was I would work really hard in March to the point of death, or near point of death, and then I would go to Taiwan and see a good friend of mine who's come over from the UK to Asia. We were going to meet in Taiwan in the middle. And so on Monday, I went to Sendai Airport. We've got a low-cost airline that flies over to Taiwan. I was all ready to go. I finished editing the last video of the month, the Traveling Japan Without Japanese video I put out last week. And yeah, I went to the airport and I checked in. It was all going well. I went through immigration, all going well. And I was sitting there by the plane. I was so excited. I was so ready to go. I got there about 90 minutes early, before the plane even took off. That was how excited I was to go to Taiwan. The light at the end of my tunnel after a pretty shit month of just hardcore editing. And while I was waiting there, a member of staff at the airport came over from the airline and said, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Broad, can we just look at your passport?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. Look, have a look. Enjoy the passport." And I looked over, and there was like 4 or 5 members of staff from the airline staring at my passport, all like worried and anxious. And I was like, "Oh, this isn't good." And they came over and they said, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Broad, you can't fly today. I'm sorry." But I was like, "What? What do you mean? What?" And they said, your passport expires in 3 months, and to go to Taiwan, you need 6 months on your passport. And I felt like such a fucking idiot. I was so angry at myself. And you know, most people know that, right? That you need a few months on your passport to travel. For some reason, I thought it'd be all right. I think when I booked the flight online, I thought, "Oh, I'll be all right." I put in my passport details, and I thought, if there was an issue, maybe it would flag it, right? Maybe it would say, "Oh, your passport expiry date is a problem," blah blah blah. That didn't happen, and nobody flagged me before that at the airport. So I had to be escorted. It was so humiliating. I had to be escorted all the way back through the airport, all the way through immigration again, because technically I'd left Japan, right? I'd gone through departures and gone through immigration, got the stamp and whatnot. I had to come back into Japan and looking like a fucking idiot, while the airline staff, for like two airline staff, no less, had to escort me through the airport. And yeah, it was really embarrassing. And I was just sitting there on the train coming back into Sendai, staring out the window like, what the fuck? This isn't supposed to be happening. And yeah, my friend was sitting there in Taipei enjoying his beer in the morning sun, wondering where I was. And I was like, "Sorry, I'm not coming. That's shit." And I felt really awful, not just because it was the light at the end of my tunnel, and I needed to escape Japan for a little bit after 2 months of stressful editing and work and presenting and filming and everything, but also because of my friend. You know, I didn't get to see my friend who'd come all the way over from the UK to Asia, and it was kind of, that opportunity was blown, the chance to relax is gone. And so the last week I've just sort of sat in a chair going, "Ah, fuck," feeling a little bit depressed. The only thing that's kept me going is coffee and Rick and Morty. Those are 2 things that have kept me going, and the celebrity shout out as well. That kind of lifted my spirits a little bit. Seeing someone as famous and as awesome as this person refer to the channel was good. But yeah, other than that, that was a bit of a blow. So I'm making up for it. Next week I'm off to Kyushu for 4 or 5 days. My friends won't be there, unfortunately, but I'm gonna just try and relax and go and check out Kyushu for the first time, and do a little bit of scouting out, check out Kyushu once and for all, and see what it's like, and see if it's a good place to film and do stuff. So yeah, Let's go into the comment section now that I've finished my terrible, depressing story. Favourite video this month, says Yuri, was the secluded mountain one with Risotto. You know what? And Bogdan underneath says Mountain Escape was the best. That's really interesting. And Jack says Mountain Escape. Lots of people say Mountain Escape video. That's really interesting because I thought the Mountain Escape video, I thought it would do really badly. I don't know why. I think it was because there wasn't anything killer in it. There wasn't anything like super duper magically brilliant and good. As lovely as it was, the experience and how relaxing it was, yeah, I didn't think it would do well. And yet everyone loved that video, so that's really encouraging. I always get it wrong which video I think people are going to like. So yeah, that's cool though. Most helpful video has been about how much Japanese do you need in Japan, says Christian. Daniel says, I think I enjoyed the 48 hours in Hokkaido video the most. I think that's my favourite video, 48 hours in Hokkaido, just because it was nice. We got the drone that I hate so much. Like, you guys know that I go on about how much I hate drones for the last 2 years, and we finally used it, and it was actually bloody good. The shot of the car driving along the snowy field was pretty good. So yeah, I enjoyed that video. It's probably my favourite. Is it Ed Sheeran, says Ray. Is Ed Sheeran the guy? It's not Ed Sheeran. It's not Ed Sheeran. In fact, I'll tell you what, if you guys can guess who the celebrity is, who the guy doing the shout out is, I will tell you. I'll tell you. I'll spoil you. Even though you've only got to wait an hour anyway. So, yeah, if you can guess who it is, I will tell you. So I'll be carefully looking through the comments section. If you write the name of the celebrity, who it is, I will tell you and I'll confirm it. But I don't think you're going to get. I don't think you're going to get who it is, because they have like nothing to do with Japan. Actually, that's yeah. I don't know. Right. Oh no, that sucks. Bummer. What a pain. Thank you for the outpouring of grief, everyone. I'm glad that yeah, my story actually resonated in some way. But yeah, it was my fault entirely. It is. You do need 6 months to travel. Always make sure you'll always check your passport. I don't know why I didn't check it. Am I just an idiot, to be honest? I've never flown anywhere, says Chantal. I've never flown anywhere that requires a passport. Blimey. Actually, it's not that common. Like, it's not. That's quite in Japan. Actually, I think 50% of people in Tohoku region don't have a passport or have a passport, depending on which way you want to look at it. Glass half empty, half full. Yeah, no, a lot of people in Japan don't actually have a passport because they don't travel abroad overseas. So, yeah. Zembear says, hey everyone, just joined Patreon, support this wonderful channel. Hope everyone's having a nice weekend. Thank you, Zembear. Thank you for joining Patreon. Welcome. And throughout the live show, guys, do send in your questions. I've got all your questions on my phone this time. Usually, before the live show, the last 2 years I've been doing this live Patreon live show, I've gone and written on a big notepad all the questions you guys sent in, along with my answer. This time, though, I'm just going to read it out off my phone. I can't believe it took me 2 years to work out that that's a lot easier, just to read the questions out from my phone rather than spend an hour writing them out. What an idiot I am. And again, what would you expect from someone who forgets to check their passport? All right, let's see what you guys have come up with. Let's see if you guys have actually guessed who it is. The celebrity shout out. Chuck Norris? No. Katy Perry? No. Snoop Dogg? No. Pitbull? No. Jeff Goldblum or Bill Murray? No, no. Either of one of those would have been awesome. Is it so? It's so good because there wasn't that killing thing. I think it's the. Don't know what that question means. I guess it's same in Germany. Sometimes I lose track of these conversations going on here. Ray Chang, Wes Anderson. I was watching the 48 Hours in Sapporo video, and there was a cool 80s synthwave song when viewing the night lights. Everyone in the comment section wants to know the name of the song. Can you solve this? Song in the 48 Hours Sapporo video. I don't know. You're going to have to be more specific. At what point in the video was it? And I'll be able to tell you. All of my music that I get usually comes from premiumbeat.com or Pond5 or Epidemic Sound. Those three. Pond5, Epidemic Sound, or premiumbeat.com. And the reason I don't tell everyone, because so many people in the comment section ask where I get the music from, is I'm quite greedy. I don't want people knowing where I get my music, because I think everyone else will start using it, right? And I've noticed that one of the things I've got going for me, one of the things the Abroad Japan channel's got going for it, is a lot of the music we use is very original. You don't actually hear it. Like if you look at a lot of YouTube videos, people use the same music, and it's quite common to hear the same song. So I've always tried to steer clear of that. Keanu Reeves, John Cena, no, no, no. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get the celebrity. So I'm quite happy about this. Right, let's dive into some of your questions, guys. All right. Still drinking the coffee. We're halfway now. Halfway into the coffee. So the first question is from Biff. Biff. Back to the Future reference. He says, when making creative decisions, what do you look for who do you look to for inspiration when making creative decisions? I actually don't look to YouTubers for my creative inspiration, because I tend to look at TV shows and stuff, because the kind of video quality that I want is more like, say, a BBC documentary, or try and be a bit more better edited, shall we say. But actually, I did last year. I started looking at Casey Neistat, who I don't watch his videos that much. I think he's a nice guy. He seems like a really cool guy. Seems very down to earth, and I do like the style of his videos. Sometimes a little bit too much style over substance, but like I like the format and I like the way he does it. So I've been pinching those kind of ideas. The idea of having a bit of commentary. So now these days, a lot of travel videos that I put out will have a bit where, say, I'm talking with Ryotaro, there'll be a bit of conversation for like 2 minutes. Then we'll have like a 30-second segment where there's like a montage of clips with some kind of trendy music underneath, and then we'll dive back into another scene. And that's one thing I've taken from other YouTube vloggers, that kind of rhythm where you've got sequence, then music and montage, then next sequence. So that's something I take from other creators. And Biff's, I also ask you guys, what is it you like about Japan? What attracted you to the country? I asked you in the question section. The reason I asked that is because I actually don't know. The people like you guys, the people that watch the Abroad Japan channel, I don't know what it is, the specific thing that attracts you to Japan. What is it? Like, you can ask, like, feel free to answer this question in the comment section. But what is it about Japan that attracted you? Was it the anime? Was it the people? What is it? Was it the sense of adventure? Like for me, it was just the idea of living somewhere on the other side of the world where I never thought I could live. It wasn't until the age of 19 that I thought, wait a minute, if I lived in Japan, that would be quite fun. And the reason I was attracted to Japan wasn't the anime. I'm not otaku kind of person. I didn't know a lot about Japan. Until the age of 19, I'd never eaten. Until the age of 18, I'd never eaten any Japanese food at all, because in the UK it's quite rare. Or it wasn't. It was then, and it's very expensive as well. Very expensive Japanese food. The first Japanese food that I had was tempura when I was in Canada, in Vancouver, because part of my family, and this sounds weird, part of my family is Japanese. My cousins are half Japanese. We went out with my Japanese side of the family, and they took me for tempura, and it was amazing, and I loved it. So it was the first time. But yeah, my interest in Japan was mainly just adventure. I thought it'd be quite a fun place to live, could be quite adventurous. I didn't know a lot about the country other than the people are very interesting. The culture seemed really exciting and different. And yeah, I was kind of motivated by what I didn't know about Japan. But Biff says, I never really thought about the country before, but my two best friends I've known for my life were obsessed with anime, and I wanted to take them on a holiday to Japan to visit all the places they mentioned wanting to go. After some Googling, I found your channel and tried my hand at studying hiragana instead of just a few select phrases, and it sort of spiraled from there. And I'm hoping to apply to JET in a few years when I know more of the language. That's cool, isn't it? So it wasn't a specific interest. It's kind of like a domino effect there. That's cool. Thank you for that question, Biff. Jimmy says, if you had 2 weeks in Japan, what cities would you visit and for how long? And the thing Jimmy likes about Japan is the completely different culture. the people, the food, the nature, and the history. Jimmy's greedy. There's too many reasons there, Jimmy, but all good reasons. 2 weeks in Japan: Tokyo, Kyoto, Hiroshima. Yeah, Osaka and Nara. So yeah, probably in that order as well. Tokyo, then Kyoto, then Osaka and Nara, and then Hiroshima, and then fly back to Tokyo, and job done. And I would spend most of the time on that trip probably in Kyoto and Tokyo, just because there's so much there. So yeah, yeah. If you're coming to Japan for the first time in 2 weeks, the places you want to spend most of your time probably are going to be Tokyo and Kyoto, just because there's so much there. Bogdan says, what about visiting Sapporo and Okinawa? You can do, but I think you need 3 weeks for that. It all depends if it's your first time to Japan or second time. Like, I think for first timers to Japan, the itinerary is always going to be the same. It's going to be like Tokyo, Kyoto, and maybe Hiroshima. Depends how you feel about Hiroshima. Like, I always wanted to see Hiroshima just because, as someone who likes history, I thought it would be incredible to stand in the place where the first atomic bomb had been like used in war, and it's quite a powerful moment. I've been to Hiroshima 3 times now, sitting on the bench right beneath where the atomic bomb went off, and it's quite a powerful sensation. So yeah, I recommend doing that. Hiroshima is cool. Right, into the comments. Has anybody guessed the celebrity yet? No, nobody's got it. Good, good. And somebody's just pointed out that it's it might be an April Fool's. Tai says, if that celebrity is April Fool's, I'm going to kill you, Chris. That's a very good point. I just realised that could compromise the whole thing, because people might think it's an April Fool. So I might not release the Patreon vlog now until Monday to get around that. That'd be a disaster if people thought the celebrity shout out was an April Fool's. I might have to wait then until now. I don't know. Shit, I didn't think about that. Good point though. That would be, yeah, good point. Didn't think about that. All right. So yeah, going back to visiting Sapporo and Okinawa, do it on your second time. Depends what time of year you go as well and what you want to do. Okinawa was amazing. So hot, but beautiful. The sea was so clear. You could swim straight through it and see everything in front of you. It's beautiful. Highly recommend it. But again, only if it's your second trip, or you really, really want to go to Okinawa. Okay, Bogdan says, I was planning 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks in Japan. Tokyo, Sapporo, Kyoto, Osaka, and Okinawa. What do you think about it? I think you are trying to do a lot there, but it's completely doable. It's just a case, I mean, it's up to you really. It's quite a lot of traveling, but it's reasonable. 2.5 weeks is a good amount. Yuri says, are we talking Tom Hanks or Selena Gomez? Elevator dancer is it Arnold Schwarzenegger? No, it's neither of those people. It's actually Tom Hanks is a good one. Like my friend, I don't know if you've seen the channel Internationally Me with a girl called Angela. Another good, one of the best vloggers in Japan at the moment. Internationally Me with Angela. She met Tom Hanks at some YouTube event, and I was very jealous. Meeting Tom Hanks, unbelievable. Why haven't I met Tom Hanks? All right, let's dive into the next question. Lisa says, have you noticed any discrimination or racism in Japan? Hard-hitting question there, Lisa. Have I noticed any racism or discrimination? Yes, but I haven't really experienced it firsthand. I have heard some stories, but it's not that bad actually. It's not like when we think racism, I think of back in the West, maybe in the US between like the Black Lives Matter and that situation, and yeah, it's very different. But I haven't racism, but it is there. It is there, especially towards Korean and Chinese people. You find Japanese people really, really don't like Korean people, or not Chinese people that much either. That's where I've noticed the most racism. That's where you'll see it the most. So yeah, but I haven't really experienced it myself. And if any of you guys have any experience of racism in Japan, let us know. I don't know why I said that so in such an upbeat way, given the nature of the topic. But this is Lisa's reason for her interest in Japan. She says, like many people, when I was younger, I watched a lot of Japanese anime, and I soon found myself fascinated, not with the characters, not with the stories, but the locations within the shows. It was breathtakingly beautiful. The cities, the countryside, and the culture thriving within were all things I wanted to desperately experience for myself. That's a really good point. Like the big film that came out a year or two ago, Kimi no Na wa, the really big blockbuster movie. That if you watch that, like, yeah, you definitely see why people feel that way. I'm someone who neglected anime until like 2 or 3 years ago. I always just thought, oh, anime, that's for children. But I watched it and I really like anime now, and I can see why that would actually trigger people to want to come to Japan, because they do make the country look beautiful. They do make Japan look. They do Japan justice, basically. I'm not going to say they make Japan look better than it is. They actually just do it justice. So yeah, it's a good reason as any. The anime. All right, what have you got? When I went for 16 days, says Emma, I did Osaka, Kyoto, Hiroshima, Tokyo, and Sendai. Shinkansen for the win. It's a good point, Emma. But you could have probably done those places for a little bit cheaper with planes. For example, you get to Sendai for Osaka. Sendai to Osaka these days is like 4,000 yen. Whereas on bullet train, it would take like 25,000 yen. So, yeah. But Shinkansen are awesome. If you're willing to not let money be too much of an issue, bullet trains are like the best way to get around Japan. No doubt about it. So fast, so good. Yeah, perfect itinerary for 16 days. Although I'm curious, Emma, what did you do in Sendai? Because I get loads of people message me, because I'm quite open with the fact that I live in Sendai. Everyone knows that I live in Sendai, so they always ask me for things to do in Sendai. And it's awkward because I don't have a clue, really. I've lived here 2 years, and I can't really tell you what there is here. Like, for me, Sendai is more of a jumping off point to other things like Fox Village, Cat Island, or Yamadera Temple, or whatever. Like, what did you actually do in Sendai? Because I'm curious about that. Let me know. You can give me the answer that I can use in future when people ask what there is in Sendai. All right, next question. Would you try? Oh, it's an interesting one. Would you try Shimanami Kaido again this year? And that is a message from anonymous person. Anonymous person. The Shimanami Kaido. Yeah, I will do it this year. Actually, the Shimanami Kaido is the cycle from Honshu over to Shikoku. It takes about a day or two. It's a 100-kilometer cycle across a chain of islands in the inland sea of Japan, and it's absolutely amazing. I am going to do it this year, actually, again, for the second time. This time I'm not going to get sunburn and get sunstroke, because I'm going to be a bit more sensible about how I do it. But yeah, yeah, I do want to do it again. An anonymous person says the reason they were attracted to Japan is one of my favorite comics is set in Onomichi, which is the town where the Shimanami Kaido begins. And the moment I set foot in this beautiful town, the scene is almost too familiar, as if I could see every page of the comics springing to mind. Shimanami Kaido is just the sweetest icing atop a cake I've experienced. Very poetic. But again, anime, comics is the way into Japan. It's really seems to be the #1 way in. Emma Williamson says, I was there for 2 days, mostly to visit the Cat Island. And I went to the museum and also to visit the area affected by the tsunami. Nice and quiet place. Oh, that is quite interesting. Which place did you go that was affected by the tsunami? I feel like I'm interviewing you here, but yeah, that's quite impressive. And good job for visiting Cat Island. It's a little bit tricky to get to. So you have to get like a train and then a boat and then all sorts, but I guess it's worth it. A trip to Cat Island is worth it if you like your cats. Last time, Tai says, last time I was in Sendai, I was there only to sleep, but it is the most accessible point for the whole of Tohoku. Definitely. I had a really awkward moment few months ago, I met with the Sendai. My good friend Ryotaro introduced me to the Sendai Tourism Board to give my advice and knowledge to the top people in Sendai Tourism Board. And I went in there for a meeting, and they were like, "What do you think is good in Sendai? What do you think we should promote?" And I was like, "Oh, oh yeah," and it was really awkward because the conclusion I came to was there's nothing in Sendai apart from gyutan, apart from cow tongue, the local delicacy of Sendai. And yeah, I came to them and I said to them basically, Sendai is a great place to live, not so much for tourists though, but it's a great off point for other places to visit in Tohoku. So yeah, I think don't think my advice was very useful to them. I think they felt I don't think I made Sendai look particularly good, so I felt a bit guilty about that. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm a bit sick of doing travel videos recently. And this month we had 5 videos out, four of which were all travel videos. And whilst it was fun traveling around making videos, it really does take it out of you. So in April, there are no travel videos apart from one where we go to Tokyo, but that's not really travel. It's just a catch up with Natsuki. And then there's like Natsuki the movie later on in April as well. And then after April, I have like a clean slate. I have nothing. I have nothing planned for the first time in I think a year. I have nothing on my schedule, nothing on my agenda, and I can pretty much do whatever I want. And I'm really excited about that. No traveling, no nothing. I can start completely from scratch. And I think the route I'm going to go down with videos from April and May onwards is reconnecting with the viewers, reconnecting with everyone. Because I feel like when you do these travel videos, right, you have a little bit of a disconnect from your viewers because you're traveling around, you're introducing stuff, but you're not really having much kind of one-on-one time, right? Feel a bit disconnected. So, I mean, Bogdan says travel videos allow us to visit those places without going there, and that's great. That is cool, and I like that. But yeah, I'd like to kind of get back on a one-to-one basis with everyone and show people everyday life in Japan, and also lose some weight as well. Look at this. This is awful. What's this? Terrible, isn't it? You know what? I want to lose weight, but not just to. I don't want to lose weight because of my appearance. I mean, I'm not too bad, but I want to lose weight because I started feeling really sluggish. I look at stairs and go, "Fuck that." I look at hills and go, "Oh God," and I've just started feeling like, it's kind of that sluggish feeling when you don't do any exercise. So I'm looking forward to doing exercise, starting to do some more weight loss stuff, and I'll probably make another video series about that, losing weight in Japan. And reading hateful comments. No, I don't know if I'm going to do any more reading hate mail comment videos. Like, people love that stuff. I love the hate mail reading videos, turning something so awful, people just spewing out hate, into something relatively entertaining. I love doing it, but not much hate anymore. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I don't know, where's all the hate gone? Where's all the hate? It's strange. I think people have just stopped like spewing out hate on YouTube so much these days because YouTube will just kick them off now. So yeah, I can't do any hate mail videos anymore just because there's not enough hate that I can go for. It's like I've got a car but I've got no fuel. If the hate mail videos are the car and the hate is the fuel, I've run out of fuel, and that's why there's not enough hate videos. So it kind of sucks. Evan says, I think of stairs and hills a lot when I think of Japan. Yeah, Japan is the land of stairs and hills and mountains. Yeah. I mean, with Japan, it's either flat or just a fucking mountain. So, yeah, you've got a lot of mountains to get around. Everyone loves you too much, Chris. Ah, ha, 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 ha. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. I think YouTube's just got a better spam filter than before, and people realise that leaving hate doesn't really get you anywhere, does it? Like, yeah. Ray says, Ray says, sweet, that answers the question I sent in. Your first weight loss series encouraged me to lose 7 kilograms. Bloody hell, Ray, that's awesome. You lost 7 kilograms. That's quite a lot of weight. My target is to lose about 10 kilograms in the next 3 or 4 months. I think that'll be a noticeable difference on the old face. When I put on weight, it goes to my face. So yeah, I'm not going to hopefully have a good, I'm going to have a good face. Now it's just a poor quality face. But yeah, no, 7 kilograms, well done. And that's the interesting thing. The weight loss series that I made 2 or 3 years ago was supposed to be a joke. It's a bit of a piss take. I mean, granted, I did lose, I think I lost 8 kilograms over the course of the series. But it was still supposed to be a little bit of a kind of light-hearted, jokey series. But it worked. I get comments from people now, 3 years later, saying they saw the weight loss series in Japan and wanted to lose weight as well. So I don't get it. That's awesome. That's so cool. So maybe if I lose weight, not only can I have a bit of fun, not only can I make a good weight loss series, but I can inspire other people who want to lose weight to try and do something about it. So that's cool. Jonathan says, is Natsuki going to be betting against you this time? You have a streak to break. I could do that, couldn't I? I was thinking, with all these challenges I do, like we did like the Monster Gyoza challenge, the Monster Ramen challenge, Wanko Soba challenge, the previous weight loss series, there's always some sort of challenge there, right, that involves usually money or doing a bet. And this time, I've got to think, what's my incentive to lose weight? Because, I mean, I could just say, oh, I'm doing it to look good and feel good about myself. That's boring, isn't it? Needs to be some kind of financial incentive or something. But one thing I was thinking was doing some kind of big kind of physical activity, some kind of big physical task at the end of it. Like one idea I had was just cycling across the whole of Japan in like July or September or something. I don't have a bike, so that's the first thing I'd have to sort out. But what do you think about that? What do you think? Doing what should I do? What should I bet? How should I make a weight loss series interesting? Over to you. Let us know in the comment section. Should I think I should do a cycle. I think that'd be fun. Cycling from like Sendai all the way to Nagasaki. That'd be quite a cool challenge. I think it would take about 2 weeks, maybe 10 days, 2 weeks. I wouldn't do it at like a really fast pace. It wouldn't be like a really quick challenge. It would be a kind of a 2-week challenge, and I would make a video along the way, make a series along the way that so people could like follow the journey and make some sort of travel thing. And then yeah, I think it'd be quite fun. What do you reckon? Cycle across Japan. Could jog? Nah, fuck that. I'm not jogging. I like jogging, but not for like more than 20 minutes. After that, it gets hardcore. You can showcase hostels as well on your bike journey, says Evan. Yes, or you get some sort of sponsorship from Booking.com or Airbnb and make millions from this weight loss cycle trip series. Haha. Thinking about business there. But yeah, I think it'd be quite fun. You got to do it in the right season though, and I think September would be the perfect season to do a cycle. August too hot, July too hot. June is rainy season, so I'd probably drown. I think, I think September would be the perfect time to do a cycle. Maybe I could do like a fan meetup. I could just tell everyone where I am, and then like everybody could come along. You could all come along, cycle as well. Until that could get quite bad though. It could be like 100 people cycling across Japan, trashing hostels along the way. But yeah, that'd be quite fun. Something to think about there, isn't there? But I feel like I've become complacent. Like a lot of YouTubers, they just, you start doing the same thing over and over, right? Now I need some kind of challenge, something big that I can do to get me excited, to push me out of my comfort zone. And cycling across Japan, I think that could be it. Yeah, something to think about. Yeah. What have you got in the comment section? That would be pretty cool. The only problem for me personally is that I don't know how to ride a bicycle. So that'd be challenging for me to be inspired by. Wow, you don't know how to ride a bicycle? Learn. It only takes like 5 days tops to learn how to ride a bicycle, and the rewards are great. Chantal. Chantal. That cycle trip sounds amazing, says Jack. Daniel Jones says, cycling across Japan would be very interesting. I'd watch it for sure. There you go. Tai Tai says, Chris, I know you know Andrew Marston, Happy in Japan. He has done that journey. He can help you. It's my favourite video to date. Really? Andrew's cycled across Japan. I'll have to ask him about that. He does all sorts of physical activities. He's climbed Mount Fuji. This guy, Andrew, who has a channel called Happy in Japan. Ironic, because he doesn't seem that happy sometimes when he presents his videos, as much as I love him. Yeah, he's always traveling and climbing like Mount Fuji every week. I don't know how he does it. He's taken the long way up Mount Fuji, which is like a death-defying journey to the top. Like most people that climb Mount Fuji, they don't really climb Mount Fuji. Like I say, I've climbed Mount Fuji because I've done the same route as most people, which is where you start from Station 5. But that's already 2,200 meters up the mountain, right? So you're only climbing 1,600 meters, the most vertical bit, but still only 1,600 meters. Andrew and lots of other people have climbed the full 3,800 meters of the mountain, and fair play to them for that. Because I'll be damned if I'm doing it. But yeah. Skateboard across Japan, says Bogdan. No, I can't skateboard. That would be just awful. I think I'd just break my leg and just be like the first day, I'd get on the skateboard and be like, we're leaving Sendai, yeah. And then I'd like fall backwards, break my leg, get like taken to a hospital, and then spend the next week just crying and being angry that I took your advice to skateboard across Japan. So no, I'm not going to skateboard across Japan. All right, let's dive into some more questions while you debate the idea of cycling across Japan. Where in the UK were you born and grown up? I'm 10 days younger than you, according to famousbirthdays.com, says Joshua. 10 days younger than me. Wow. That means you too will soon be 28 years old. Unless you're talking about days and not years. Famousbirthdays.com. People still go to famousbirthdays.com. I'm impressed. I was born and I grew up in a place called Kent, which is the county next to London, just to the southeast of London. Best way to describe it is I lived in between Dover and London, quite near France, quite near the White Cliffs of Dover. Nice place, I guess. It's all right, nothing special, but good place to grow up. Yeah, but Joshua's reason for liking Japan is I think it was the film Lost in Translation. He says, I've watched the film more times than I could count now, and I don't know what I love about the film so much other than I think it's quite peaceful, and I thought Japan to be similar. My interest has grown over the years, certainly through watching your videos too. I've always found Japan fascinating and beautiful. Thank you, Joshua. Good reason there. I too love Lost in Translation. I always go on about it. Like, I think in my first year or two in Japan, I had the target of staying in the hotel where Lost in Translation was filmed. And the hotel was the Park Hyatt Hotel in Shinjuku, and it's obscenely expensive. I think I talked about this before, but I love that film so much, Lost in Translation, that I knew I had to stay there. But like one night there costs, I think it was about like $500, which was a lot to me then because I was on a teacher's salary, which was like $30,000 a year. And I remember saving up for like 3 or 4 months just to stay at the Park Hyatt Hotel. And my sister came over to Japan when she was having a tough time, and we stayed there together. And it was a really nice time. She hadn't seen Lost in Translation, so I was a bit annoyed at her that I was like, God damn it, I took you to this incredible hotel, which is basically the setting of the entire movie, and you haven't even seen the film. Damn you, sister. But other than that, it was a lovely hotel, and I did feel like my dream of being in Lost in Translation was vindicated, and I would recommend it if you're taking, like, if you do love the film and you're coming over for like a honeymoon or something romantic, and you've saved up enough money. I do recommend staying there. It's a really nice hotel, and I've got a really great head massage that I still remember fondly about 4 years later. So yeah, there's a big debate going on here about weight loss in the comments section. The biggest achievements happen when we overcome our shortcomings, don't you think? That's a good point, Jonathan. I'm guessing you're referring to the skateboarding comments I made earlier. But I'm not going to start skateboarding, even though I know I said I want to overcome something, right, and go out my comfort zone. But I absolutely refuse to do skateboarding. I can't stand it. So no. Lots of people keep talking about tattoos in onsen, and if you can go into an onsen with tattoos and whatnot. Honestly, it depends how big your tattoo is. Like, fun fact, Ryotaro has a tattoo on his arm here, and every time we make a video, I think he keeps asking me to get rid of it, like in post production. One time, it was the video where we went to where we tried the whiskey back in January. And we went and drank some whiskey. We stayed at an onsen, and we went in the hot spring. And bloody Ryotaro, he had his tattoo in the shot on the camera on the screen. And in post production, he was like, "Oh, can you edit it out?" And I had to spend like fucking 3 or 4 hours, like using incredible CGI audio-visual trickery to get rid of the bloody tattoo on his arm, because he thought like we'd get in trouble with the ryokan, with the hotel inn about it. But oh, there you go. Hi Taddy says, "I knew I saw a tattoo there. Clearly my CGI trickery wasn't enough." But if you go back and look at the video, you might be able to see Ryotaro's tattoo. I don't know what it is. I can't remember what it is. I think it's some sort of animal. Or maybe it's just a picture of a risotto, given that he is Risotto. But yeah, it depends how big your tattoo is. Like Pete Donaldson, the dude that I do the dude. Did I just use the word dude? It's not very British. Not very me, is it? What am I doing there? But anyway, Pete Donaldson and I went to an onsen, and he's got a tattoo of someone. I think it's Guybrush Threepwood from Monkey Island. He's got a Monkey Island character on his leg, like there. And we went in the onsen, and I saw it, and I was like, "Bloody hell, Pete, what are you going to do about that?" And he went, "Oh, don't worry about it." I just dived into the water, and nobody saw his tattoo. So, yeah, just do that. Don't worry about it. And Chantal says, Simon and Martina have shown an onsen where you can have tattoos, so it's all right. Yeah, it's not as bad as you think either these days, especially with the 2020 Olympics coming up, right? The Japanese government's basically said to the like resorts around Japan, stop using this fucking rule, because it's actually ruining the experience for lots of people who aren't Yakuza. Most people that have tattoos, that are foreigners anyway, aren't Yakuza. And Risotto certainly isn't Yakuza. At least I don't think he is. That'd be quite an interesting plot twist, wouldn't it? But yeah, so stupid rule. If a lot of other places do have plasters that you can put on your tattoo. Sounds a bit weird, I know, getting a plaster and sticking it on your tattoo, but that's another option as well. So yeah, but you can look online. I think there's a website where you can just type in like hot springs tattoos Japan, and it will tell you places where you can visit with a tattoo. So yeah. Jonathan says, how did you and Pete meet? You've got such great chemistry on the podcast. How did you two meet? I actually met Pete from the podcast. And by the way, if you listen to the podcast, I'm keen to hear your thoughts and comments on that. I haven't had much feedback or criticism from people, so keen to hear what you think about the podcast. Is it good? Is it bad? How can we improve? Let us know. I met Pete when we were filming Natsuki the movie last year, actually. Pete is a Japanophile, as I always talk about in the podcast, and he was a fan of the Abroad Japan channel. And when he heard that Natsuki and I were in London filming Natsuki the movie, he brought us into. He called me. I think he messaged me on Twitter and said, "Hi Chris, I hear you're in London with Natsuki. Do you guys want to come into Absolute Radio for an interview?" And I was like, "Of course I fucking do, definitely, yeah. This will look great in Natsuki the movie." And random. So we went into the Absolute Radio studio, and and did an interview with him. And then he came to Japan 6 months later, and I said to him, "Well, if you do come to Japan, I'll gladly show you around Tohoku." And he took me up on the offer. I didn't think he would. You know, often when you say to people, "Oh yeah, I'll show you around when you come over, drop me a line, blah blah blah," And he did. He surprised me. He did, and I was glad he did. And he came over, and I showed him around Tohoku for about 5 days. We had an amazing time. And then another 3 or 4 months later, he got in touch and said, I heard you want to do a podcast. Why don't we do it together? And like, I've got a podcast of my own. I know how to do it. And I was like, perfect, let's go. So yeah, kind of that's how it happened. It's really bloody lucky. Really bloody lucky. So yeah. I love the podcast. It comes out usually in the last couple of hours of work on Wednesdays. Just what I need to get through the day. Brilliant. That's exactly what I'm aiming for. Yeah, we're off to a good start. We got shouted out on iTunes. We got a shout out by the celebrity who none of you have successfully named, which I'm really glad about, because you're going to be bloody surprised when it does happen. Again, now I'm wondering whether or not I should put it out, given it April Fool's. But I'll do it anyway. But yeah, so it's going well. I'm really happy about it. Just imagine someone covered in plasters going into an onsen. It's a pity, really, this tattoo business, says Zembear. It is. Like, it doesn't... Imagine how weird that would look if you've got, like, 5 tattoos and you're just going in covered in plasters. It looked like you've got, like, leprosy or something, or you're very sick. Yeah, it would look a bit weird, wouldn't it? It's a depressing thought. You're right. More questions. What have you got? Shoot questions, guys. Is it Kim Kardashian? No. Kim Kardashian. Why would she shout out the Abroad Japan channel? That'll be... I would say no. I don't like Kim Kardashian or anything she stands for. So if she did shout me out, I would say no. David says, is it Ken Watanabe? No, David, it's not, unfortunately. It's better than Ken Watanabe. Is it Neil Patrick Harris? No, and that's an interesting idea. Neil Patrick fucking Harris shouting out the Abroad Japan channel. Aidan says, what kept you going in your first year when you didn't have many friends in Japan? Actually, I did have a lot of friends in Japan, luckily. When you get to Japan your first year and you're on like a teaching program like JET or Interac, they have a very good network, very good support system. Too good, arguably. Like a lot of teachers coming to Japan actually spend all their time with other foreigners, and I think it kind of ruins the experience because you're not actually meeting any Japanese people. In my first year, I spent all my time with just other foreigners, kind of seeing Japan in this foreigner bubble. It's a shame, really, because I didn't feel like I experienced Japan at all as a result in that first year. So yeah, I had a lot of friends in Japan that first year, and it wasn't difficult at all as a result because of that. So yeah, Morgan Freeman, nope. Dale Winton, nope. Kevin Spacey, that would be awkward, wouldn't it? Kevin Spacey, fucking hell. Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein. What a shout out that would be. Is it anyone from the Grand Tour or Top Gear? No, it's not. Is it Jackie Chan? No. Desperately trying here and desperately failing. What was Aidan's reason for being interested in Japan? The culture and the history is very interesting. When I took a world history class in high school, we touched on the Edo period of Japan, and that caught my eye. Now I'm considering teaching in Japan when I'm out of uni. Good reason. That's awesome. I'm surprised. I'm amazed you studied the Edo era in Japan, like Japanese Edo era in high school. That's a pretty good high school. In like the UK, we just do like the same topic every time. World War One, World War Two, Henry VIII, and I think the Romans. I think that's about it. That's all we learn. And yeah, wow, that's quite random though. Edo era history. Does anything in Japan still surprise you? Says Jordan. Does anything in Japan still surprise me? I had a nice moment the other day. Like, I know I said earlier, sometimes Japanese people, because they're so shy and reserved, it can be difficult to really strike up a conversation with anyone. You can feel like a ghost at times because you feel like people just don't acknowledge you're there unless you're a customer or something. I had a nice moment where I went to this tonkatsu restaurant the other day. Tonkatsu is pork cutlet, really amazing, love it. And I went to this little restaurant that was run by this little old woman who must have been, I think she was in her 70s. and I went in with a friend, and we were the only customers in there, just sat in the corner. And it was really uncomfortable because we were not only the only customers in there. There was probably about 6 or 7 tables. We went in, and it was very quiet. I didn't even see the woman at first. We went in, and then we heard, and she sort of popped up magically out the cupboard. She sort of burst out. We're like, oh, yeah, hello. We sat down, ordered, and then she was cooking. It was just so silent and awkward. There's a TV there, but it wasn't on. And usually in these kind of little family-run Japanese restaurants, there's a TV on there to eradicate the awkward silence. And that wasn't happening, and I felt quite awkward. And she brought the food over, we ate it, still kind of awkward. And she wasn't, she seemed kind of cold. This woman was a bit cold and didn't really talk to us or anything. And then all of a sudden, she came over with she came over with half a dozen brochures, slammed them down our table, and was like, I'm going to Europe next month. Where should I go? What should I do? And we talked for half an hour after that. She suddenly struck up this conversation out of the blue about her holiday to France that's coming up in May and June. She's going to France, she's going to Paris and Mont Saint Michel. And my friend who I was with was French, and I'm British, so we kind of, I don't know why I said that, you know that, but my friend was French, and so we had a really nice conversation with this little old woman about her upcoming trip and how every year she works really hard, and then for 5 days every year she goes off to Europe and goes on an adventure somewhere. And it was a really nice kind of moment, because I thought, just another kind of cold-hearted interaction, nothing happening, and then bang, brochures, conversation, life story. And it was really nice because you just don't get that. I think one of the factors that came in was that there was no other customers in the restaurant. And I do find people talk more to you if there's no other customers in there. So yeah, really nice moment. I like that. All right. Anybody guessed who the celebrity is yet? Maybe the celebrity is Pete Donaldson. I'm not that cheap. Bloody hell. Pete Donaldson. That's hardly a celebrity endorsement, is it? No offense to Pete. Is it Kim Jong-un? Now we're clutching at straws, David. Could it be the Queen, says Zembear. No. But once upon a time, when I was working as an English teacher, the students, one of the teachers asked me if I'd met the Queen of England, because I'm from there. And I lied for an hour about how the Queen and I of England, Queen Elizabeth II, were on first name terms and quite good friends. And they actually genuinely believed it. Can you believe that? They believed I knew the Queen of England and was friends with them. But no, the Queen didn't give me a shout out, unfortunately, because we're not friends. And that's, one day. Stephen Fry, that would be a great shout out. It's not Stephen Fry. Nobody's got it. This is terrible. No, this is such a shame. Vladimir Putin, no. He's got bigger things on his plate right now. Samuel Jackson, no. But that will be an interesting one. What time is it? 11:05. All right, guys, if you've got any questions you want to shoot at me, go ahead. Ask away. We'll wrap things up in about 5 or 10 minutes. While I finish, I'm still drinking this coffee. Look at that. Shocking. Had this coffee an hour. Stone cold. Remember at the start of this live stream, I said, let me know if I put the coffee down, and I haven't. I've been good, haven't I? Bogdan says, did you tell the woman about Paris syndrome? I didn't go there, Bogdan. I didn't tell the woman about Paris syndrome. I should have told her to listen to the latest podcast in which we discussed that and how Japanese people are frightened and shocked and disturbed by Paris and the fact that it isn't what they think it's going to be. Hi Tani says, Charlie Brooker. No, I'd love it to be Charlie Brooker, but it's not. And but Pete, I think Pete told me that he's spoken to Charlie Brooker a few times because Pete's appeared in Charlie Brooker's documentary a few years ago. Charlie Brooker made a really good documentary about video games, and Pete featured in that, and he spoke to Charlie Brooker. But I love Charlie Brooker, given that he's the closest thing I have to an idol is Charlie Brooker, TV personality and writer of Black Mirror. Yeah, that'd be amazing. God, that'd be awesome. When will the vlog be up? Says Senil. It'll be up in about 1 hour. 1 hour. technically April Fool's, I guess, but hopefully people won't think it's an April Fool's, because it's not. Any more questions? What are the 3 places you want to visit in the United States, and why? Says Lex. The 3 places I want to visit in the United States are, number 1, New York City, just because New York City, isn't it? Capital of the world. I'd love to visit New York City. I'd love to visit LA, number 2, because I was procrastinating 3 or 4 days ago, and I was on Google Maps, and I spent 3 hours on Google Maps, on Google Street View, going around Los Angeles, going around Hollywood and Beverly Hills, and all these places like Brentwood, because I wanted to see where all the celebrities live. I know it sounds weird. It's not the sort of thing I would normally do. But I realised, as somebody who's a bit of a film buff, I love films, I've watched hundreds of films, thousands of films, I wanted to actually get to know the city where they all tend to be set, LA. And I didn't know my way around or anything. So I just went on Google Street View, and now I know my way around LA. I think if I went to LA tomorrow afternoon, I'd be able to get my way around it. So yeah. 3rd place I want to visit in the US is somewhere in the middle. Somewhere like Colorado. No, sorry. Actually, I do want to go to Colorado, but I want to go to San Francisco. San Francisco even more. But I'd actually like to drive across America. It's one of those dreams that I think most people in the UK tend to have, to drive across America at least once. And that'd be cool, like a road trip from New York to LA. Take Natsuki with me. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. Absolutely everything. Ricky Gervais. Is Ricky Gervais the guy? No, it's not Ricky Gervais. That'd be a bloody good shout out. I think it's better than Ricky Gervais still, but there you go. Atlanta has a lot more to do, and there's a lot more trees and plants and parks, not to mention the Coca-Cola Museum. Yeah, Atlanta could be fun. Could be cool. I was actually invited to do a Japan, what was it called? Kind of convention, a Japan anime convention thing in America in May, but I didn't really have the time to go over. But I was invited to America to do an anime Japan culture convention, but I've got a bit on in May, and so I ended up not going. But I said I might go next year, so I might actually go to America next year to do a convention, but we'll see. But I am going to Canada in August, to Montreal, to see some family there, so that'll be interesting. I haven't been to Canada in 10 years, so that'll be cool. Canada's fun. The bottom of the coffee is always the strongest. Refreshing. Now I'm not going to be able to sleep. Is it Conan? No, it's not Conan. I don't think you're going to get it, guys. There's too many celebrities to guess. You're not going to get it, I'm afraid. I will. Anyway, if you have any questions, shoot away. We'll have 5 more minutes. I've still got lots of questions to answer here. Got a bit of hay fever at the moment because the bloody cherry blossom season, as beautiful and as brilliant as it is, triggered. Everyone I know seems to have hay fever at the moment as a result. So, Chris, how do you choose topics for your videos? And this is a question from Bogdan, who has been quite vocal in the comment section here. How do I choose my topics? I try and balance out the channel every month. This month I haven't done a good job, but I try and do like different videos each month. So like we'll have one travel video, one culture video, one food video, and one video where it's just me in the apartment talking. This month I failed. It's just been travel opinion video. But yeah, I guess it depends on. There's no real structure to it. I'd be lying if I said there was any method behind the madness of choosing what videos I make. For example, the next video is coming up. We've got the Monster Gyoza video, and the reason I chose that was because I wanted to have like a nice ending to this trilogy I'd made with Natsuki, the food challenge series, right? And I thought that'd be a nice one. That was the best one that I could find online. Also gets a lot of views as well. Monster Gyoza gets a lot of views, so that's good. And yeah, I mean, that's so. There's nothing. There's no specific reason. What kind of recording equipment do you use? Says Elevator Dancer. I use a Rode microphone. Just stick it on the top of the camera. Job done. Rode microphone. Whoa. Have you ever been to Toronto? What was your experience like? If you have, no, I haven't been to Toronto, but I do want to go. When I go over in August, I'm hopefully going to go to Toronto for a few days as well. So that'd be cool. Love to check it out. Oh yeah, and Bogdan's reason for liking Japan is the crazy and bizarre adverts and products that people find okay and not childish. Yeah, like the one with Tommy Lee Jones promoting coffee and acting like a wacky motherfucker. It's always good, isn't it? That's a good question. Chris, what are the topics for videos that you'd like to cover, but you do not cover them as they might not be accepted by most viewers? The topic I'd like to cover that would not be accepted by most viewers is criticisms that I have about Japan, which is what I covered in the recent podcast, because you find, you find people who comment about bad things in Japan, get a lot of hate mail and get kind of, I don't know, I think it just unlock a Pandora's box of shit if I made a video about my criticisms about Japan. So I'm just going to avoid it for now. But the day I leave, if and when I leave, I will make one then, and I will vindicate myself. So that's a topic I haven't discussed. There's no topics really that I wouldn't touch, to be honest, though. I don't think there's anything. Maid cafes. People have asked me to go to maid cafes, but it seems like an absolute waste of money, to be honest. Seems like a waste of money. So, yeah. Chantal says, yeah, look at Find Your Love in Japan. He always gets hated on, but he doesn't care. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I've seen a few of his videos. They're all right, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go there. Not my thing. Also, the Chicken Boy comment in the ramen challenge video destroys me, says Emma. Yeah, unfortunately, Natsuki doesn't have quite as good a Chicken Boy comment in the Monster Gyoza video. That's probably because we're too busy being sick at how horrible it was. So there's that to look forward to. Don't worry, there's no actual physical sick. That would be awful. Is it Michael Palin and Nicolas Cage? No, and no, it's not. Again, they'd be good. That'd be quite cool, actually. Again, I think it's better than both those people. As much as I love Michael Palin, not so much Nicolas Cage, but I think the person who shouted out the channel is better than both of them. And I'm amazed none of you have got it, who've got who it is. So, you're in for a nice surprise in about an hour and a half. With that in mind, though, I better wrap things up, guys, because the sooner I get off and finish uploading the video, the quicker you can find out who it is. No, it's not Stephen Merchant. It's not Stephen Merchant. But yeah, thanks for joining the live chat, though, guys. I hope you've had a good March. I hope your March has been slightly less stressful than mine. And yeah, I hope you have a good weekend, really. As for me, I'm going to upload the Patreon vlog in a minute. Then I'm going to finish editing the Monster Gyoza video and the Day in My Life Tokyo video with Natsuki. And then I'm going to get a Kyushu and wander around there for a few days. So, yeah. But I hope you have a good April. And I know I've said it for the last 2 years, but Natsuki the movie is coming out soon, genuinely. Like, one of the reasons I got so many videos done this month in March is so I could dedicate April to not making videos and just focus on the one video that matters, which is Natsuki the movie. So yeah, and depending how well Natsuki the movie does when it comes out towards the second half of April, I'll make a kind of behind the scenes video. I think we'll see. We'll see. Depends how well it does. If it gets like 200,000 views, 200, yeah, if it gets 250,000 views or more, I'll make a behind the scenes making of video of Natsuki the movie. If not, I don't think I'll bother, but we'll see. Who knows? Who knows? But for now, guys, have a great weekend, and thanks for joining me on this most wonderful and successful live chat. Actually went well this time, didn't it? God bless the internet. And another thing, I will try and get Natsuki on board for the live chat in April. It seems fitting as well, given that Natsuki the movie will finally come out once and for all in April. So, yeah. But yeah, awesome. Any last people? Dwayne Johnson? No, it's not Dwayne Johnson. Sylvester Stallone? No. Edgar Wright? No, it's not Edgar Wright. Yeah, nobody's got it. Ha ha ha. I win. What last comments? What the last comments? Thank you. We'll be in Japan in June, July. Your videos have helped a lot. Awesome. Have a great trip. Have a great drip. Have a great trip in June, July. Jaden Smith, says Senel. No, it's not Jaden Smith. Jaden Smith? Quentin Tarantino? No. Mark Zuckerberg? No. We're going to be here all day because I clearly none of you are going to get who it is. So let's end this live show and let's get on with revealing who the celebrity shout out is. For now, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. And remember, never go on holiday unless your passport's got